A radical group of peace-loving Muslims are not happy with the mayor of Irving, Texas after she put the final nail in the coffin in order to bury America's first Sharia court for good. Mayor Beth Van Duyne has accused mosque leaders of creating separate laws for Muslims in Irving, Texas. The city voted to stop these supposedly voluntary courts from operating. In a vote that shouldn't have been this damn close, 5-4, the city of Irving decided to support the Texas state bill which was signed by Governor Greg Abbott, effectively banning all foreign law from the great state of Texas. The resolution doesn't mention Sharia or any religion because we wouldn't want to offend anyone, but this does mean an astronomical defeat for those who support Sharia and its barbaric ways. What makes all this even sweeter is the fact that all four of the so-called voluntary court lawyers, and the court itself were, in fact, unlicensed in the state of Texas, which translates to a third-degree felony. They also failed to notify the city that the illegal court was operating within city limits. All this translates to the fact that there might end up being jail time involved here. Mayor Beth Van Duyne has promised to get to the bottom of this whole mess. Sharia law. Sharia law is the law of Islam. The Sharia, also spelled Sharia or Sharia, law is cast from Muhammad's words, called hadith, his actions, called sunnah, and the Quran, which he dictated. Sharia law itself cannot be altered, but the interpretation of Sharia law, called fiqh, by muftis, Islamic jurists, is given some latitude. As a legal system, Sharia law is exceptionally broad. While other legal codes regulate public behavior, Sharia law regulates public behavior, private behavior, and even private beliefs. Compared to other legal codes, Sharia law also prioritizes punishment over rehabilitation, and the penalties under Sharia law favor corporal and capital punishments over incarceration. Of all legal systems in the world today, Sharia law is the most intrusive, restrictive and draconian, especially against women. See below. According to Sharia law, theft is punishable by amputation of the hands, Quran 5:38, criticizing or denying any part of the Quran is punishable by death. Criticizing Muhammad or denying that he is a prophet is punishable by death. Criticizing or denying Allah is punishable by death, see Alamun God. A Muslim who becomes a non-Muslim is punishable by death, see compulsion. A non-Muslim who leads a Muslim away from Islam is punishable by death. A non-Muslim man who marries a Muslim woman is punishable by death. Girls' clitoris should be cut, Muhammad's words, Book 41, Kitab al-Adab, Hadith 5251. Muslim men have sexual rights to any woman or girl not wearing hijab, see Taharash. A woman or girl who has been raped cannot testify in court against her rapists. Testimonies of 4 male witnesses are required to prove rape of a female, Quran 24:13. A female who alleges rape without producing 4 male witnesses is guilty of adultery. A female found guilty of adultery is punishable by death, see Islamophobia. A male convicted of rape can have his conviction dismissed by marrying his victim. A woman can have one husband, who can have up to 4 wives, Muhammad can have more. A man can marry an infant girl and consummate the marriage when she is 9 years old. A man can beat his wife for insubordination, Quran 4:34, also see Religion of Peace. A man can unilaterally divorce his wife. A wife needs her husband's consent to divorce. A divorced wife loses custody of all children over 6 years of age or when they exceed it. A woman's testimony in court, allowed in property cases, carries 1/2 the weight of a man's. A female heir inherits half of what a male heir inherits, see mathematics in Quran. A woman cannot drive a car, as it leads to fitna, upheaval. A woman cannot speak alone to a man who is not her husband or relative. Meat to eat must come from animals that have been sacrificed to Allah, that is, halal. Muslims are to subjugate the world under Islam, Quran 9:29 and Palestine issue. Muslims should engage in taqiyya and lie to non-Muslims to advance Islam. The list goes on. See Sharia law in America, Canada, UK, Europe and Saudi Arabia. percent of Muslims who favor making Sharia the official law in their country. Source: Pew Forum Research. In many countries where an official secular legal system exists alongside the Sharia law, the majority of their Muslim citizens favor making Sharia the official law. For example, while Egypt's military blocked the Muslim Brotherhood's efforts in this direction in 2013, 74% of Egypt's Muslims still favor it. Even in Jordan, Indonesia, and Malaysia, Muslim countries with progressive images, the relatively secular ruling elite sit atop Muslim masses, 71%, 72% and 86% respectively of whom want their countries to be ruled by the Sharia law. And in Iraq, where the United States has been propping up democracy since 2003, 91% of its Muslims want to live under the Sharia law. The number of countries penetrated by Sharia law continues to grow, as does the depth of its penetration in the countries already affected. This penetration is not by happenstance, it is managed to occur in 5 phases: see Spread of Islam and the 10 Steps to Stop Islam. Do we as a nation really want to have this within our borders? Sharia is a brutal and oppressive system where women are in fact treated like cattle, and the punishment for minor crimes is so barbaric that it brings the Middle Ages to mind. We as a freedom-loving people need to stop the spread of this cancer that is called Sharia. This system has no place in modern society, and those who believe it does need to be sent back to whatever Islamic cesspool they came from. Please share if you agree we need to ban Sharia law in the USA. Follow us on Facebook at Freedom Daily.